Hi guys, so I thought I'd best do an intro to this video because if you've clicked this, what you're about to watch, it's not a greatly edited video. It's something I put together kind of spur of the moment because it was very important to me that I mark this day in some way. Not just that, I just didn't know what else to do. I just felt compelled to do something. I'm always the first to wake in my house, so whenever there's bad news in the papers or online or whatever, I'm always the first to know. And today I found out one of my heroes had passed away, so I was coming to terms with that on my own because everyone was still asleep. I was not going to go back to sleep, so I just kind of set up my camera and decided to talk to my camera about how I felt about the news, really. And I'm sure there's millions of other people that just were completely shocked and blindsided by the news. What you're going to hear next, a lot of it probably doesn't make sense. It's not very articulate, it's not very elegantly described, it's not succinct, it's not beautifully said, it's not poetic in any way, but it's what just came out of my mouth this morning. I just wanted to pay homage to David in some way today. The makeup you'll see, I've not put any products on there or any instructions because it's not a tutorial. I didn't want to kind of promote or sell any brands in this video. That was merely me, as I said, paying homage to David Bowie in one of his most iconic looks. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it because I share most things with you, and today felt like another day I kind of wanted to share with you too. Isn't it weird how some people touch you even though you don't know them at all? Like I don't know much about the man himself, I don't know him in any way, but he's touched my life. And isn't that an amazing thing that musicians can do that and music can do that? Art in general, in fact. So sending love to those that actually did know him and anyone else that feels sad today. Obviously we've lost quite a few musical icons in the last few years that have touched a lot of us, and no one is more important than the other, but I really felt compelled to do something today, so here it is. So obviously today we woke up to the news that David Bowie, however you pronounce it, is no longer with us, and obviously, as you can imagine, all of Twitter, social media, everyone is devastated and shocked by it because we didn't see it coming. He was 69, which is in this day and age far too young. He was battling cancer secretly for the last 18 months according to reports. But I think there's some people we just never imagined not being here, and I think he was one of them. That may be partly to do with because we didn't want to imagine a world without David Bowie in it, or because he was this kind of alien figure, this otherworldly man that you felt no normal human rules applied to him because he appeared to be above or away from everything that was normal and standard. And so you kind of had this idea that he was invincible and he'd be around forever, and he would continue to create this wonderful stuff that he creates for us until our dying days. So to wake up and find he's not here anymore is quite a shock to the system. And I think the fact that he's only just released his album, there's something very tragic about that, because you can see he still had so much to offer and so much to give, but what a blessing that we've got that last album to enjoy. When I spoke about him on Instagram, I commented on the fact that he was, this weirdo, this misfit, this oddball, and he gave many people justification in embracing their own uniqueness and their own weirdness, and it was okay and acceptable and even should be celebrated and enjoyed, and people felt they could embrace their flamboyant side, their androgyny, their whatever it was that felt natural and innate to them, anything that kind of they had put under wraps or felt they had to hold in, they could suddenly just let it go and everyone could just be their own unique weird selves together. No one was a chameleon quite like David Bowie. When you look through his legacy, all the different looks, all the different styles, he kept you guessing. You never knew what was coming next, and I loved that. And I think that's what more artists should do, because as people we change, so obviously the work you create has got to change as well, and we should embrace that when bands want to, you know, try new things and explore new avenues, even if at first they seem scary or out there, because so much can come from that. He wasn't just an amazing musician, he was an actor. I say he was a poet as well. And in terms of my own memories, obviously Labyrinth was one of my favourites as a child and is still one of my favourites now. I listen to that soundtrack more than I probably should. He was actually my first crush. He had that kind of evil, sexy thing going on in that film. I also liked his kind of 80s vibe when he wore, you know, the suits with the big shoulder pads, and he had that white blonde hair. Let's Dance is my jam. Every Friday when I go to the pub, my local pub, when I was a teenager, everyone knew that I would be requesting Let's Dance, and when it came on I'd literally run to where everyone kind of danced and stuff, and I would just go mad, because that was, I don't know, something about that bit, it just did something for me. You did have this fear that because he was this incredible artist, that his music was so intelligent and experimental and kind of worthy of all the critical acclaim that it got, that perhaps he was someone that took himself too seriously. But then appearances in extras with Ricky Gervais, cameos and things like Zoolander, and I even found out today he even voiced a character in SpongeBob SquarePants. You can see that he had a humorous side, he didn't take himself too seriously, and that makes you warm to him even more. Nothing I or anyone can say can kind of sum up what this man achieved in his life and what he gave us in terms of creativity. I couldn't just let the day go by. But there's a lot to be said about the person he was and how he made you feel. I think his androgynous approach to, you know, style and the way he dressed and the way he looked kind of made you think about the way you felt about your sexuality and the way you dress and how you think about other people and how you perceive people according to how they dress and how they look. He was a misfit in a way, but because he was embraced by so many, that kind of negated the whole misfit thing, because he brought a whole community, a whole scene together, because he embraced being different, he embraced being weird, he embraced having this outlandish style that at first everyone was like, what is that? What is he wearing? What is he doing? And then they realised how wonderful it was. I could ramble on for hours and hours, but all I want to say is, if David Bowie hasn't been a part of your life yet, please choose today as an excuse or reason to download an album, check him out on YouTube, watch one of his movies, anything, because you're missing out. And he is most likely informed, influenced, loved by many of your favourite artists. So out of respect, you know, check him out. And if, like me, you're devastated and have loved him for years, let's celebrate him today. Let's put on his albums, put on his vinyls, have a boogie, watch one of his movies as well. So I'm going to be listening to this pretty much all day. I hope you all find some joy from listening to his back catalogue all day as well. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.